Hello and welcome. My name is Chad Putman. I have a master's in social work, and I am the owner and founder of Make Your It Happen LLC. And I'm also the author of the Midlife Opportunity Starter Kit. So I want to say thank you for finding me, both through Make Your It Happen and also through this Midlife Opportunity Starter Kit. I'm excited for what this process can do for you. It really is a reflection of my own process and experience that I've gone through with a great deal of guidance and support from others. And so I've really taken the time to create these various sections as a chance for you to reflect, journal, and think about how your life has transitioned and transformed from being just a kid slash teen up through doing the things and being the adult, and then running into barriers and obstacles and frustrations and unexpected events as you grow older and become more mature in life, and then really, this kind of midpoint, finding an opportunity. Oftentimes it's referred to it as a midlife crisis, but really I see it as a midlife opportunity to evaluate where you are, um, and to decide kind of how you want to take everything that you've learned and experienced thus far and how you intentionally want to define your next chapter in life. So let's get started. All right. This is page one. Page one, welcome. Section stage one. I was just a kid slash teen. If you haven't had a chance to print this out or can't print it out, just grab a blank sheet of paper or a notebook, find a safe space, and let's get going. One of my favorite quotes is, "The events of our life help to shape who we are. They do not define who we are today." All right, we'll talk in just one moment on page two. All right, welcome to page two. Page two, I wanted to just provide a little bit more context and backstory as to the beginning of my process. So, as we can read through here, when I was 20, my first counselor was an intern at a local county mental health clinic. Although it was taboo within the family system to ask for help, my struggle with suicidal ideation and hopelessness was so real that I would have rather jumped out of the window than continue down the path I was on. Well, those admissions led to an inpatient psychiatric hospitalization and a referral to a drug and alcohol counselor. What I soon learned was that I had some skeletons in my closet that had been haunting me for several years, and my counselor at the inpatient mental health program helped me to acknowledge them, write them down, and begin to let them go. The drug and alcohol counselor, on the other hand, suggested I give up drinking and smoking weed. At the time, I thought she was nuts, so much so I showed up at the next session stoned. Eventually, I consented to going to my first drug and alcohol inpatient rehab, followed by an outpatient program and halfway house. It was there in one of the classrooms that I saw these words in Chinese characters, which read, "Crisis equals opportunity." Today, those characters are tattooed on my chest. We're going to slide right past this page. This is just a simple index page, but it is important to note that each of the following section stages will provide you with an opportunity to reflect and journal through various questions and activities. Treat this starter kit as an opportunity for self-care and self-love. This is your private space to be honest. The extent of your personal transformation is based on the time, effort, and degree of truth you are prepared to explore. Section 1, Stage 1, I was just a kid slash teen. Welcome to the process. Today I will show myself the greatest love by. I have incorporated various opportunities throughout this starter kit for you to engage in self-care and self-love. So, either you can answer this now or you can come back to it, but to think of something that you can do for yourself to show yourself the greatest love today. The work. Use the space below and on the back as needed to document 8 good, bad, and normal childhood experiences. They can be anything. Allow yourself to freely write what comes to mind. Don't judge it or conceal it, just acknowledge it and write it down. So, good memories, just generally speaking, right? Good memories. And the next page, we're going to get into either bad memories and just normal memories. What are those for you? Take your time. After working through this part of the exercise, take a moment to check in with your feelings. Are there any particular events or situations in your life that create similar feelings that you have that are reflected in these good, bad, and normal experiences you documented above? Take a moment to think about those, reflect, and write them down. As I mentioned, I wanted to create lots of opportunities for you to practice self care. So if you need to just take a minute, maybe get yourself a drink of water. I love doing deep breath exercises. Oftentimes it's encouraged before journaling activities just to take real deep breaths and really kind of fill your lungs, right? So deep breath. So I'll let you go through that yourself. You can even pause the video for a moment if you'd like and come back. But certainly taking some deep breaths helps us get centered and more thoughtful in relation to the work that we're doing around this self-reflection. The teen years. Use the space below and on the back as needed to document 8 memories in general, regrets, and events specific from your teen years. They can be anything. Allow yourself to freely write what comes to mind. Don't judge it or conceal it. Just acknowledge it and write it down. One of the questions that I had after I shared this with folks is not quite understanding the difference between what I was getting at with memories and events. And the way I explained it was that so events are like, in my teen years, I got my driver's license, I got my first car. Those are kind of big events that we recall and can reflect on. Memories are like, oh, my best friend, Bob or Scott or Tom or Joe. We used to go and go drive around the countryside and listen to music at the top of the speaker volume. That would be an example of like a memory versus an event. And then obviously regrets. And regrets can be something that maybe you've really come to terms with it now, but was there something that happened during your teen years that at the time you regretted, that situation took place, and how you felt about it then versus how you feel about it now? So take your time to work through this section of the exercise. As you continue to work through the above exercise and you come to the end of that section, take a moment to check in with your feelings. Are there any particular events that you noted above that you would like to process further, put down for further reflection, or that you would like to let go of? Explore that for a moment, write it down, and we'll move on. All right, here we go again. Another opportunity to practice self care. Take a moment to just kind of put a pause on the video, stretch, thank your body for being present and helping you work through this activity. Um, and we can continue to move forward. I was just a kid slash teen continued. Use the space below and on the back as needed to document one or more significant events that left a mark, impact, and or changed the direction of your life in your teen years. And the way I described it in the box was, wow, this was big. This was something big. And maybe it was in your youth, early adolescence, but looking at your teen years, were there any kind of big ouch, wow moments that really happened and impacted the direction of your life? After completing that section, take a moment to check in with your feelings. Is there anything that want to explore more, or that comes to mind in relation to this? Then take a break, take some breaths, get a drink of water, and we'll move on to the next one. So you're doing a really incredible job, and make sure that you thank yourself for taking the time to engage in this self-care activity. And you're almost there. You have shown yourself so much love. I just have a couple more exercises left for you in this section. I was just a kid slash teen continued. Use the space below to write a message to yourself as a kid slash teen. For example, when my parents separated, it was hard. Although I took it personally at the time, today I know my relationships are my own, and I don't have to follow the same path as my parents. What are some messages, comments, thoughts, reflections that you can write to yourself as a kid/teen? Take a few moments to think about that, jot that down, and then we'll move on to the next section. Hey, wow, you did it. Here we are. Congratulations. You're on the last page. Um, so one of my suggestions here is to, once you wrap up this exercise, is to go ahead and play your favorite song and connect with that positive energy for yourself. Sometimes going back and thinking about all the things that happened, good, bad, and ugly, in our youth and in our teen years can really kick up some things. So it's important to engage in self-care and also to give ourselves a opportunity to experience joy, and sometimes that can be through songs that we love. This last bit is an opportunity really to provide yourself with a positive affirmation. Today you have the opportunity to claim your power and define your present. Feel free to use the space below to write one or more positive affirmations or mantras you can repeat all day, any day. And I provided an example down below. But I would really like for this to be your own mantra. You could feel free to borrow one that I put down below, but based on the experiences that you've been through, is there an affirmation that you would like to claim for your own that you can not only journal in this activity today, but repeat to yourself each and every day you get up, during the day, and before you go to bed?